You've wondered about it. I've wondered about it. We've all wondered about it. For more than a decade, science seemed to have a really clear answer to one of life's biggest questions. What's the real link between money and happiness? But what if that answer was wrong? Let's dive into the surprising new science that's changing everything we thought we knew.
For years, science gave us a simple, kind of neat answer to this question. It was a single number, a number you probably saw in headlines or heard thrown around at dinner parties. I bet you know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Yep, that was the magic number. A huge 2010 study found that our day-to-day happiness, our emotional well-being, pretty much hit a wall after we started making about $75,000 a year. Any more money after that just didn't seem to make our daily lives any more joyful. So, case closed, right?
Well, not so fast. Recently, that whole simple story has been turned on its head. New research has dug way deeper, and what it's found is that the relationship between our income and our well-being is so much more nuanced, and honestly, way more fascinating than a single number could ever tell us.
Okay, so to really get this, we first need to understand something really crucial. Researchers don't just measure happiness as one big thing. They actually split it into two very different, very distinct categories.
The fancy scientific term for all this is subjective well-being, or SWB for short. And that first word, subjective, that's the key to everything. It's not about what your boss thinks or what your friends think. It's entirely about how you see your own life. And that perception is split into two parts.
So on one side, you've got affective well-being. This is your daily emotional weather. Are you feeling happy, stressed, or sad right now? But on the other side, there's cognitive well-being. This is more like the overall climate of your life. When you step back and grade your life as a whole, how satisfied are you really? This distinction, it is absolutely essential to unlocking this entire debate.
And this very difference between your daily mood and your overall life satisfaction is right at the heart of this huge debate. For over a decade, two major studies offered completely different answers, which created a genuine scientific cliffhanger.
So it all kicked off with that famous 2010 study that gave us the $75,000 plateau for our daily mood. But then, fast forward to 2021, and a new study by a researcher named Matthew Killingsworth found the total opposite, that happiness just kept on rising with income with no ceiling in sight. So, who was right? Well, in this pretty incredible move, the rival scientists actually teamed up to reanalyze all their data together, and what they discovered in 2023 changed the game completely.
It turns out there isn't one single happiness curve that fits everyone. The massive breakthrough was realizing that the effect money has on our happiness is fundamentally different depending on how happy we are in the first place.
And this is where it gets really interesting. For most of us, happiness does rise steadily with income on a logarithmic scale, which is just a fancy way of saying a $20,000 raise means a whole lot more to someone earning 40 grand than it does to someone already earning 200 grand. Make sense, right? But the exceptions are the real story. For the unhappiest group of people, happiness does hit a wall around $100,000 because their pain often isn't about money. It's from things like grief or heartbreak or depression. But then you get the happiest group. For them, more money doesn't just mean more happiness. Their happiness actually accelerates once they get past that $100,000 mark.
So, let's nail this down. The old idea of a happiness plateau wasn't totally wrong, it was just incomplete. That plateau is a real thing, but it's not a universal rule. It's more like a misery plateau. It's the ceiling money hits when it comes up against deep emotional pain that money just can't fix. This brings us to the next obvious question. Why does money affect us this way? What is it actually doing for our well-being? And the answer is that its most powerful job isn't about buying more stuff, it's about buying protection. This quote just nails it. Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Right after food and shelter, what do we need? We need safety and security. That's where money does its most important work. It builds a buffer, a protective shield, against all the stress and chaos the world can throw at you.
Because let's be real, living without that shield is brutal. Financial stress isn't just a bad mood. It has severe, measurable costs to our health. It's linked to chronic anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, insomnia. It can even mess with our ability to think clearly. So money's first and most critical job is to get rid of all these horrible negatives.
But once that shield is in place, once you feel secure, money's role totally changes. It stops being about dodging misery and starts being about building a meaningful life. It becomes the tool that buys you autonomy, the freedom to control your own time and your own choices. It's the power to say no to a project you hate or yes to taking a month off to care for a sick parent. And that feeling of control, that is one of the most powerful drivers of deep, long-term life satisfaction.
Okay, so if money is a tool for building well-being, how do we use it the right way? The research actually gives us a really clear, actionable playbook for how to spend our way to a more satisfying life.
The science points to 3 main strategies. First, invest in experiences, not just things. A new phone is cool for a bit, but a vacation creates lasting memories that you can enjoy for years. Second, buy back your time. Paying someone to mow the lawn or clean the house isn't frivolous. It's a direct purchase of relief from what they call time famine, one of the biggest stressors in modern life. And third, spend on others. Giving to people or causes you care about literally lights up the reward centers in your own brain. It's a reliable path to your own joy.
And the reason these strategies work so well is because they help us fight something called the hedonic treadmill. That's just our natural tendency to get used to new things. That brand new car is thrilling for a week, and then it's just your car. But the joy from an amazing trip, the daily relief from not having to do a chore you despise, or the warm feeling from helping a friend, those are things our brains adapt to much, much more slowly, if they ever do at all.
Which leaves us with this final thought. The science is pretty clear. Money is a powerful tool, but it's not the destination. Its greatest power is found in the freedom and the choices it provides. So the real question isn't how much money you need to be happy, it's if you had more choices, what choices would you make to build a life that feels truly satisfying to you?